Well, we're talking about housing right now
Yes.
because we're like, oh, where'd you guys settle when you moved here? This is Ilana McCauley. She's with Redfin, and Michelle and I gabber about real estate all the time. You know, you're always looking at houses, and I'm like, wow, look at the price of that thing. But I feel like we're at that position now where we're starting to see a little bit of a transition. Is that what you're telling us?
Definitely. The market has shifted, and we definitely noticed this really around April. And that's kind of what we were noticing, that the inventory, there was an influx of folks putting their homes on the market, and now they're kind of sitting for a little longer, and so buyers were telling them to come out.
Wow.
That's kind of nice. I mean, what do you think is driving all that? Do you think people are just tired of spending that much money?
You know what? That's an excellent question. So it's really difficult to put our finger on any one particular thing. Interest rates are up ever so slightly. That could be a part of it. You know, the head tax was kind of a big thing here in Seattle for a little while. That might have kind of scared a few folks off, and now that's changed, and so we're kind of waiting to see what's going to end up happening with that. Don't know, you know, and I think the buyer fatigue is definitely a real thing too. Is kind of what you were alluding to, that buyers were coming out, they were making offers, they were losing constantly, and they've just decided to take a break, essentially.
Yeah.
So what does this mean if you're a home buyer, and what does it mean if you're trying to sell your house?
Oh, great question. So I'll start with the listing side first. So I'm actually a listing specialist. So these are conversations I have with sellers all the time. They're very much more realistic expectations that we have to have. Some tough conversations with sellers now, that where it was a seller's market very favorably for many, many months, now the playing field is evened out a little bit. And we're seeing buyers have a little bit more power when they're coming to the table and have different contingencies that they're able to negotiate into the contract. And so they're tough conversations with sellers, and just the expectations of what the market is like, and also the time on the market and multiple offers. We're not seeing quite as many of that. For buyers, what this means is that we want them to come back. So in other words, they had that buyer fatigue, so they kind of took a break, if you will, for a little while. And now that the homes are sitting for a little longer and we're seeing some steady price drops, really we want to get them to come back out and take a look and know that they have a little more bargaining power at this point in time.
We're out of time, but when you say price drop, you're not talking like big price drops, right?
We're talking multiple. Sometimes they're in increments and they come down, and we basically want buyers to come out and make an offer. That's what we tell folks.
Yeah.
Make an offer.
Before, houses were like going 10, 20, 30, $100,000 over asking price. Now
in cash, you know.
Yes.
So this
It's
is,
different.
I take this as good news,
Yeah,
especially if you're a home buyer. So thank you.
You bet. My pleasure.
All right.